Welcome to Maundy Thursday, or Holy Thursday. It is a service of darkness traditionally, and it is a service of sadness as we prepare ourselves for the walk towards death, crucifixion, suffering, and pain. We come to it with a sense of dread, which helps us in a few days to enjoy all the more the power of the risen Christ. Today I'd like to read from John 13, John 14, and John 15, some selected verses with a few pauses and thoughts along the way to help you get a sense of this story. Before the festival of Passover, Jesus knew that his time had come to leave this world and to go to the Father. Having loved his own who were in the world, he loved them fully. Jesus and his disciples were sharing the evening meal. The devil had already provoked Judas, Simon Iscariot's son, to betray Jesus. Jesus knew the Father had given everything into his hands, and that he had come from God and was returning to God. So he got up from the table, took off his robes, picked up a linen towel, tied it around his waist. Then he poured water into a wash basin and began to wash the disciples' feet, drying them with the towel he was wearing. When Jesus came to Simon Peter, Peter said to him, "Lord, are you going to wash my feet?" Jesus replied, "You don't understand what I'm doing right now, but you will understand later." "No," Peter said, "you will never wash my feet." Jesus replied, "Unless I wash you, you won't have a place with me." Simon Peter said, "Lord, not only my feet, but also my hands and my head." After he had washed the disciples' feet, he put on his robes and returned to his place at the table. He said to them, "Do you know what I have done for you? You call me teacher and Lord, and you speak correctly, because I am. If I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you too must wash each other's feet. I have given you an example. Just as I have done, you also must do. I assure you, servants aren't greater than their master, nor are those who are sent greater than the one who sent them." After he said these things, Jesus was deeply disturbed and testified, "I assure you, one of you will betray me." His disciples looked at each other, confused about which of them he was talking about. One of the disciples, the one whom Jesus loved, was at Jesus' side. Simon Peter nodded at him to get him to ask Jesus who he was talking about. Leaning back toward Jesus, his disciple asked, "Lord, who is it?" After Judas took the bread, Satan entered into him. Jesus told him, "What you are about to do, do quickly." No one sitting at the table understood why Jesus said this to him. Some thought that since Judas kept the money bag, Jesus told him, "Go, buy what you need for the feast," or that he should give something to the poor. So when Judas took the bread, he left immediately, and it was night. When Judas was gone, Jesus said, "I give you a new commandment. Love each other. Just as I have loved you, so you also must love each other. This is how everyone will know that you are my disciples, when you love each other." Simon Peter said to Jesus, "Lord, where are you going?" Jesus answered, "Where I am going, you can't follow me, but you will follow me later." Peter asked, "Lord, why can't I follow you now? I'll give up my life for you." Jesus replied, "Will you give up your life for me? I assure you that you will deny me 3 times before the rooster crows." John 14. Jesus, sensing their distress, begins with these words, "Don't be troubled. Trust in God. Trust also in me. My Father's house has many rooms to spare. If that weren't the case, would I have told you that I'm going to prepare a place for you? When I go to prepare a place for you, I will return and take you to be with me, so that where I am, you will be too." I will ask the Father, and he will send another companion who will be with you forever. I won't leave you as orphans. I will come to you. Soon the world will no longer see me, but you will see me. Because I live, you will live too. Peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. I give to you not as the world gives. Don't be troubled or afraid. I am the true vine, and my Father is the vineyard keeper. As the Father has loved me, I too have loved you. Remain in my love. So there's the plea. There is the crux of the story, that in communion, in the washing of the feet, what Jesus conveys to us is this invitation to love one another, that we will have peace, that we will live with God and with each other, that we will not be alone. But for the moment, as we close this service, there are 3 days of sadness. There are 3 days of pain. There is a walk towards the cross. there is darkness. Before we see the light of Easter.